Hey everyone. Today we're taking a look at the movement that's become the go-to when people do things that are stupid. There's a lot of discourse on whether it's healthy, whether it's toxic, and whether it's an actual thing in the first place. So many people have heard about this topic by now, and yet there's a bit of confusion on what it really means. Some think it's about drama, while others think it's about politics. But that's because there are a lot of sides to it. I believe the most common things that come to mind with this term are notepad screenshots and hour-long apology videos. That's because they've been at the core of cancel culture since the beginning. Early on, it was more about seeing subscriber numbers going down and dislikes going up. It had to do with the conflict between creators where they took off each other's masks and made a spectacle out of it. But this is just one small part of what it would become. Social media is universally considered the happiest place on earth because there's an ongoing craving for violence on every website. And the one thing that satisfies that craving is the downfall of someone people love. So cancel culture became about taking off everyone's masks by digging into their past and showing tasteless jokes and even forms of hate speech they had engaged with. But there are even more sides to cancel culture, like viral recordings that cause aggressors to lose their jobs by doing hateful things to others. Or how the term became politicized as a way of claiming censorship and debating on freedom of speech at the cost of hurting other people. For some reason. And things kept changing from there, with posts about public figures that included allegations of criminal behavior and media coverage, and after all these things, I would assume that's how the term became part of the mainstream. But we are overlooking something that is synonymous with cancel culture, which is apology season. The cycle that everyone that's ever been canceled goes through. Someone does something stupid, it brings backlash, then they apologize and take a break or leave, and everything goes back to normal after a while. If they return, many will continue to hate them, while some will overlook it as if it never happened. And I think that's where the divisiveness of cancel culture comes from. The aftermath of these things is naturally polarizing. It's like there are teams that choose whether what happened is acceptable or not, and the team that has the most people has the final say. Which is concerning because of how quickly people take sides and how easily they switch between them. But there are more issues than that. In the case of the supporting side, you have people that consciously downplay and minimize situations because it doesn't directly affect them. On top of that, you have the followers that will blindly believe anything the person at fault says if they write something good enough. In the case of the opposing side, many of the people that demand someone's downfall act in ways that are more evil than the person they're trying to cancel, by pushing degrading labels on people or trying to remind them of their past mistakes at every chance they get, even if things are addressed or disproven later on. The main issue with cancel culture is that these scenarios are not as simple as collectively deciding whether a person is bad or not. They're delicate situations that are hard to understand completely, and yet if people see something being said about someone, they start spreading it very quickly. If someone gets cancelled for one thing, they'll make up their own theories on stuff they can't see or attribute additional things that didn't happen along the way, just because they didn't look into the situation. When there's visible proof, or even an admittance of things that are immoral, that's a way more intricate subject than some conflict or little tweets from years ago. I'm not talking about that. I am saying it is a problem when very vague pieces of information based on hearsay get shared around without much thought. I've seen people asking for one-line summaries on stuff, but these are things that impact people's lives in one way or another, and I think that's taken extremely lightly for what it is. And the whole point of taking this risk and relying on the general perception is holding people accountable, but it's not always effective on that front either. If the person has enough of a strong following, things eventually calm down and people continue to support them just as much, if not more. They can be called out over and over again, but will there be actual repercussions outside of one bad week for them and a holiday break? A lot of the people that deserve consequences mostly get away with things, but some of the targets that get hurtful backlash are ones that have already changed or simply aren't the things they're being labeled as. In the case of people that eventually disprove claims, they are so widespread that their name is tainted forever. After being cancelled, nobody wants to be around these people anymore. If their name comes up, everyone goes quiet, and even being associated with them is a problem. That fear causes people to be afraid of being cancelled for little misunderstandings or things they haven't done at all, which makes them hesitate from putting themselves in the public eye to begin with. I think the heart of cancel culture is in the right place, but the execution is what prevents many people from looking at it in a positive light. It's not the fact that people shouldn't stop supporting the ones they don't see fit, because a lot of those people can get away with things that deeply hurt others, and that's not okay either. It's about the bullying, the ostracizing, and the fact that no one's willing to have a conversation before that happens. If a person abuses their platform by taking advantage of their followers or actively hates on people, should they have the power to influence others? No. If a person supports something controversial that doesn't directly infringe anybody else's rights, like... better not say actually. Like new technologies, for example. What if they have good intentions and they believe they are doing the right thing? Why not just talk to them? Continuously. If someone said or did something stupid years ago, what have they done ever since? Who are they now compared to back then? There are a lot of questions that people don't even try to take into consideration when judging entire lives, and simply jump into cutting people off because they know of a worse version of that person. If someone shows continuous growth and change, why should they keep being regarded as who they used to be? And if someone's being stupid in the present, what if they are willing to listen and take accountability for those actions? Or is it more about simply tossing aside people that aren't considered good? It's a very loaded subject because it's a big topic and there's really it's not a concept they can simply tilt one way or the other with how complicated every situation is.
Alejandro, listen. This is great. But when I asked you about canceling, I was more talking about canceling things like events, like concerts, movie tickets.
Oh.
Yeah. Then we spent like 7 minutes listening to you talk about something else, like you were in some sort of YouTube essay.
Great job, Alamando.
Why do you ramble so much, man? Normally when you're on a talk show, we like to have like a conversation.
Please no more. I just want to get through this. I just want to get through this.